Hey folks, this is Riker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. This week's topics include the 2 new classes revealed for Elden Ring, Path of Exile's controversial new Battle Pass, Lost Ark setting records, and more. As always, discussion timestamps can be found in the description below. But right before you skip ahead, just a quick reminder to ring that sub notification bell to be alerted to new Saturday episodes and stay up to date with gaming news highlights. Now before we move on, just a quick word from this video's sponsor, NordVPN. A VPN is an important tool for keeping your data secure and encrypted on the internet, and I don't dare connect to public Wi-Fi without first enabling my VPN. Be it on a phone or a laptop, in an airport, or at a fast food joint, I turn on my protection before connecting to that public Wi-Fi. You just never know who may be snooping around trying to steal your personal data, because that Wi-Fi network named McDonald's free Wi-Fi can actually be anyone using their phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot to trick you into connecting to them. Turn on your VPN, and now your data is getting encrypted before going out there. You can also use a VPN to get around region blocked content by picking a server in a different country. And NordVPN has over 5,400 servers in 59 different countries. And it's so user-friendly that you're basically one click away from hiding your IP or browsing the web from a different country. And one account lets you connect up to 6 devices, be they computers, phones, tablets, you name it. And right now, you can take advantage of an exclusive deal to get a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month for free and a surprise gift. Just go to nordvpn.com/Riker. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/Riker, or click the link in the description below to take control of your internet. In our first quick story, the first gameplay trailer for Dune Spice Wars released this week, and it's looking promising for fans of strategy games. It's an RTS game for PC with 4X elements from the developers of Northgard, which was a great RTS, and you can see the Northgard influence. And most importantly, it does look like the spice is flowing. In other news, a massive patch released this week for Cyberpunk 2077. Patch 1.5 and the next generation update weighs in at a whopping 50 gigs, will allow the game to take advantage of the additional power of the Xbox Series XS and the PS5 hardware, and will include new weapons, balance changes, and so many bug fixes that the devs didn't even bother listing them all. There's apparently thousands of them. Given the game first released in December 2020, it's about time. In another quick story, Terraria got a final update. Again. This is the game that just keeps on giving, or specifically the devs that just keep on giving. This game has been out for a decade, and it's sold more than 35 million copies. And it's come a long way from just being 2D Minecraft. At only $10, some people have gotten thousands of hours out of the action-adventure sandbox. And the continued updates over the years makes it unsurprising that it won the 2021 Labor of Love Steam Award. And while we're on the topic of games that continue to see updates, No Man's Sky Sentinel update released this week, introducing new lore and stories, new enemies, the ability to reprogram and adopt your own AI drone, and a total overhaul of the weapon system, which players say was one of the weaker aspects of the game. No Man's Sky creator Sean Murray even said in an interview with IGN that his team is not done with the game yet by a long shot. Quote, "As many updates as we've done since launch, and as many bucket list items we've checked off, our list of things we're excited about never seems to get any shorter." No Man's Sky is one of the rare games that managed to recover from a bad launch. It's been 5 years now, and opinions on the game have become very positive. In other news, Netflix is working on a Bioshock film adaptation in partnership with 2K and Take-Two Interactive. Please don't suck. 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 Please. Vertigo Entertainment is producing the film. They're a company that's been around for about 20 years, and they do a lot of co-production on a ton of movies, some of which has been uncredited, with their first being The Ring and The Grudge films. So lots of horror films in general, but they seem to be more of a support studio helping produce films than being a main studio that makes its own. So we all know how hit or miss Netflix originals can be, so I'm really hoping this will be one of the hits, but I'm not confident. In other news, a new expansion released this week for Star Wars: The Old Republic in celebration of the game's 10-year anniversary. And with it came one of its glorious CGI cinematics. Even if you don't play the game, if you have any interest in Star Wars, these are always great to watch. This is some of the best Star Wars media you could watch. One thing I really liked about this particular cinematic is that it paints the Jedi in a morally gray light. Now, I played SWTOR for a solid 6 months back when it first released. It was the MMORPG that I played for the longest time, and a big reason for that was the quality of the solo quest storylines. Now, not every class had the most interesting story, but some were really great. We also learned this week the system requirements for Elden Ring, which is slated to launch on February 25th. The game will weigh in at 60 gigs and require at least 12 gigs of RAM and DirectX 12, so older computers are not invited. We did also get the reveal of the Samurai and Confessor classes this week. The Confessor is a church spy that's good at sneaking while wielding a sword and magic, and the Samurai uses a katana and longbow. So we're now up to 10 revealed Elden Ring classes: Warrior, Enchanted Knight, Prophet, Champion, Bloody Wolf, Prisoner, Bandit, Astrologer, and now the Samurai and Confessor. Now, the Dark Souls games had 10 classes, so this is likely to be it, but we'll know for sure whether there are any more classes soon enough. Now, how many of you are going to play Elden Ring? Sound off in the comments. In Path of Exile news, the devs are adding a Battlepass system to the game, and it's not being received terribly well, with the reveal YouTube video currently sitting at more downvotes than upvotes. For $30, the pass allows you to unlock some pretty cool cosmetics by completing bonus map objectives. Now, Path of Exile is a free-to-play game, and Battle Passes are a commonly accepted monetization model in many games, but players have a number of complaints about the implementation in Path of Exile. First off, the $30 pricing point seems a bit high for a lot of people. $10 to $20 is what people seem to have expected. Second, a lot of these cosmetics are specifically attached to certain items. If you don't have the item or find it or trade for it, you don't even get to use the cosmetic. And the cosmetics also can't be used for standard play, only for the Challenge League. So overall, it seems if the pricing point had been cheaper and if there were maybe some incremental rewards added, like we tend to see in other Battle Pass systems where you can also get some currency or points that you can spend on the MTX that you desire, the Battle Pass might have been better received here. But I turn the question to you folks: how do you feel about PoE's Battle Pass? Sound off in the comments. And lastly, in Lost Ark news, after a massive launch weekend, the game has become the 5th game ever to break 1 million concurrent players on Steam. And in fact, it achieved 2nd place, 2nd highest concurrent play count on Steam ever. First place goes to PUBG with a staggering 3.3 million concurrents. Then Lost Ark comes in 2nd at 1.33, then CSGO at 1.3, Dota 2 at 1.29, and Cyberpunk at 1 million. Honorable mention goes to New World, 6th place at 914,000 concurrents. And we all know what happened with New World, or at least if you don't, there was a huge amount of hype for it, and then it allegedly, died off real quick. It also is an MMO released by Amazon, just like Lost Ark is, and it's now sitting at about 40,000 peak concurrents on a daily basis, so things really have dropped off quite steeply. So the question is, could that still happen to Lost Ark? Well, at least for now, we're 1 week after launch, and Lost Ark is still peaking at over 1 million concurrent players. Though I do wonder how many of those are just people stuck in the queue. Because speaking of those queues, that's the main cause of Lost Ark's plummet from overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam to mixed reviews on Steam. Honestly, for anyone who looks at the reviews and you see mixed and you're skeptical, it's really because of the servers, because of the queues. The biggest complaint about the game seems to be the inability to play the game, which can be better or worse depending on what region you're trying to log in from. I've heard Europe in particular is really bad. I've been fortunate enough, playing on US East, I've never really had any queues, but I also tend to play during non-peak hours. I can't say I'm enjoying my experience so far, and I'm ready now to dive fully into endgame. I hit 50 a while ago, but I've been dotting some I's, crossing some T's before really diving into all the endgame stuff, so now I'm ready. And getting to that endgame really was my main motivating factor for giving Lost Ark a real try after my beta experience, in which people said, oh, you haven't really experienced the game yet, so I'm here now, let's do it. And lastly for Lost Ark, we'll mention that Carbot released a parody cartoon video about his experience, or first experience, with Lost Ark. Definitely check that out. Carbot's always good for a laugh. Because that's gonna wrap up this week's video. But do be sure to have checked out last week's video in which we discussed Blizzard's new RPG in the works. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more gaming content.